Hello and welcome, everybody. This is our podcast, Welcome to Livingston, where we bring in local businesses to talk all about what they're doing in the community. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals.
Yeah, and we are so excited today. Today we have with us David and Carly Leisk with Culture Beer and Cheese in downtown Brighton. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
This is so exciting. This is just because you have such a great shop in terms of just yummy. Right? We don't get enough food people. For whatever reason, food people are hard to get in, I think.
Yeah, so we're really excited to have you guys here today and to learn all about your shop. So I guess just to start off, why don't you tell us a little bit about your store?
Well, we are Culture Beer and Cheese. We sell craft beer by the can and bottle. We carry a wide assortment that is sold to go only, but in a mix and match style. We keep everything arranged by type so people can go and find what they like to drink and hopefully find something new. We have no minimums so that you're not required to buy a 4-pack or a 6-pack. So it's a really great way of finding something delicious and something unique that you may have always wanted to try or something you've never seen before. And we also have 2 cases filled with artisan cheeses and charcuterie meats that you're always welcome to sample when you come in, because again, you can only read a description and gain so much from that. It's really great when you can get a taste or a sample into someone's mouth.
Absolutely. It's that sensory to actually know.
Yes, and on the beer side, there's nothing worse than you buy, you're like, I'm all excited about this flavor. You buy a 6-pack, you open up the first one, you're like, this is going to be in the fridge for a while.
Exactly. With all the wacky flavors that people do these days, which some of them are fantastic and I love, and then others are, I wish I don't have a whole 6-pack of that.
Right.
So we really like the ability to offer the chance to mix and match and work your way down. And of course, having it arranged by style means you can be like, I don't recognize any of these cans, but I have a general idea of what's going to be inside of them when I open it. So you do get to explore. We get to have all of those cans and offer our opinions.
There you go. So only the best show up in the store, right? They've already been pre-vetted.
Yes, we call it doing our homework to make sure that we've tasted every single thing on those shelves.
Excellent.
And they change all the time. So there's always new things coming in.
Fresh rotations.
Exactly.
And then along with the beer and cheese, we of course also have the crepes that we make. We also do individual size cheese and meat plates that are designed to be a meal for 1, a snack for 2. Basically a miniature charcuterie board that you can design. You can choose the cheeses and meats. You can have us choose the cheeses and meats, whatever. If you're looking at the case and totally overwhelmed and like, this is just too many decisions for you to make, you can say, we're having a Pinot Noir tonight. Can you match it to that? I know that I don't like blue cheese, but other than that, I want to explore something new. Can you find something for me like that? So we have a lot of options. We're very flexible about how we build those. And then as well, we of course also have party size platters that we are very, very proud of.
Yeah, we do a lot of those. We've done from, first birthday parties, 90th birthday parties, graduations, lots of weddings. Been very honored to have our board served at many people's weddings. It's just a special event, and you know that you're really making their day or making their guests' day.
Right, yeah, because charcuterie boards have gotten so popular, and people get so excited to see them nowadays.
Yeah, I feel kind of lucky that I've been doing these for a very long time. I've been working in cheese since 2010, but the Instagram-worthy charcuterie boards really became a thing in 2017, right around the time that we were getting ready to open up our store. So
how neat. And I love that you're consultative, right? Because I think a lot of people don't necessarily know what they might like, or sometimes they only know what they don't like, but to be able to tug it through with you to say, all right.
Exactly. And just those facts alone help us so much, because people do get overwhelmed. They see our selection and they may not know where to start. So that's why I can just say, well, what textures do you like? What cheese in general, if you're at the store, do you like, and what do you avoid? Because that way you can, again, find something unique and new.
Right, and even knowing if they're a red wine person or a white wine person makes a big difference, I assume.
Absolutely. And we also love to pair our cheeses with beer. And again, that's kind of my passion. I haven't done them in a while, but would like to do more of our beer and cheese pairings or tastings in-house, because that's what I find exciting. Wine is fantastic. Do not get me wrong.
Right.
But the subtle nuances that you can get with beers, and especially the carbonation of beer, really helps cleanse the palate of the fatty cheese. And you can just get so much better pairings. I'm trying to think of what word
Like
I want.
it blends well then.
Yes.
Yeah.
They complement each other.
So you had mentioned in terms of starting in that 2017 range or whatnot. How did you decide to start? And you're in downtown Brighton. I don't know if we mentioned that to the listeners yet. You may have walked by it, not realized it was there, or you might be there all the time. But tell us, how did it begin?
I've been working in cheese in 2010. I started working in Manhattan at a restaurant called Artisanal Fromagerie and Bistro, and it had a big cheese counter inside of it. So we did a little bit of retail service, but mostly we would go and consult with the tables dining about what kind of cheese they would like on their cheese board. And we had about 200 cheeses at one point.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
A sommelier for cheese is called a fromagère.
Ah.
Yes. And I quickly fell in love with that job. And I came home, I think after about 2 months there, and I said to David, we are going to open a cheese store someday. This is what we are going to do. And I worked there for about 4 years. And then I wanted to do more of a retail-focused business because I hadn't done that being in the restaurant. And there was a great little store that had just opened in our neighborhood in Astoria, Queens, called Astoria Beer and Cheese. And I basically walked up on the owner one day and just said, hi, you need to hire me. I live in the neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. I love cheese. I've been doing this for a while, and I want to work here. I want to own my own shop someday, and I need to learn how. And he was a little taken aback by someone saying that, but then said, you know what? That's perfect. Come on in. I'll teach you how to run a store. You can run my business like it's your own and have fun. And it was amazing. And about 3 or 4 years into there, we had our son, and then New York kind of made it clear it was our time to go.
I like to say that the crossroads of the world made it plain that it was time to pick a road.
Okay. And that's fair. And, New York's a wonderful place. It's great you had that experience, but we will say we're happy and excited that you're here in Livingston.
We are too. Honestly, we are too. We had considered moving to California, where David is from, but my parents had relocated here to be closer to my stepdad's family, and they just made such a strong case for Livingston County. They just said, come and see how much it's grown since the last time you guys have been here. Michigan is a great beer state. They're going to be really receptive to this. They love food. They love beer. You guys have something interesting. Let's do this.
And we had been visiting for almost a decade by that point, just coming out for holidays and everything. And we had seen Brighton grow and grow and grow just in that decade. So we had already observed that there was this major
progress.
Yeah, 100%.
Building momentum in Brighton.
Right.
Which we were really excited to be a part of. So
Absolutely.
No, 100%. We moved out to the Livingston County to Howell in 2002. And when we moved out here, her parents were like, "You're moving where?"
Oh, much got
like
the same
it was
reaction.
very like you're going to the middle of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to see the growth that has happened in the time period, and for you guys to bring a shop like this where you're bringing that expertise in the cheese and the variety of the beers and everything is just an amazing addition to the downtown.
Thank you. We think it's really fun too, because we get a lot of people who are just strolling by, enjoying the downtown shops, and then see what is this? I have to go in and see what a beer and cheese store is.
Right.
We definitely get that reaction a lot.
Yes.
Well, I saw the sign beer and cheese, and those are my two favorite things in the world, and I just had to see what you had inside here. And
Right.
We also do gelato and dairy-free sorbet by the scoop, and so little kids always get excited when they see that case.
That is awesome. And I wanted to talk about the crepes.
Yes.
Because we saw the crepes online, and I was reading the descriptions of the different crepes to Angela.
This is not just, your typical strawberry or apple crepe.
you can get those too, though.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But yes, I initially wanted to open up a grilled cheese store, which maybe someday we still can. But when we moved into our space, it had been a crepe store before us. And as we spent the summer getting our licensing together and giving the store inside a makeover, people were still coming up and pulling on the door. And so we would kind of market pull them and say, what are you here for? What are you looking for? And people said, we really still want crepes. And so I said, okay, cool. We have these crepe stations. Let's try making crepes, only I want to do my spin on things. So
Spin.
Oh, David, you're funny. So basically I took all of these kind of unique grilled cheese combinations that I had, and we put them into crepe form. And I think they're pretty exciting, and people definitely have cravings for them.
Right.
Absolutely. Now, what are some of those titles that I know it was like there was a brie one and
Brie didn't start the fire,
so
which is brie, rosemary, ham, a habanero pepper jelly, and spinach.
There's my personal favorite, the Bacon Street Blues, which has a creamy, easygoing blue cheese, bacon, sliced green apple, spicy honey, and crushed caramelized pecans.
Wow.
And it's just marvelous because it hits all of the different flavors. You get your spicy, your sweet, your salty, your fatty, your rich, your umami. Like you get all of these, the sour from the green apple, you get it in every single bite. And it just makes my knees go weak.
Yeah, we're particularly proud of that one.
That sounds amazing. And then I just need to pair that with the perfect beer, right?
Yes. Oh, a porter would be fantastic. Hands down with that.
Yeah, we love pairing blue cheese with dark beers and maybe a little bit of something crunchy, like those pecans.
Texture-wise.
Yeah, a
it's
little
not
texture and something kind of
Yep.
dark and sweet.
nice. Yeah, because a lot of crepes, I feel like they're just kind of gooey. So it's nice
Absolutely.
to have that balance.
Weird
Absolutely. It's
texture
something you need to
people,
take
definitely.
Take into consideration.
Right. Now, so what's your most popular product? You know, do people just come in mainly for the beer, or like what's the main
I
thing?
would say the cheese boards.
Okay.
Both the individual size, we will have one called the deluxe board, which is 3 cheeses, 3 meats, the fruits and nuts and mustard and pickles and bread, and that serves 1 to 2 people. And we have lots of people who will take that home and have a little date night, or they'll take it over to one of the breweries in town to have with their beer. And our large size ones too. I do a lot of party boards.
So are you going to mention the pickles?
Of course I'm going to mention the pickles. My brain just jumped to that. So you're the reason our son likes pickles.
Yay!
Yes.
Hey,
Hands
awesome.
down.
So-
We are not pickle people.
Neither of us like pickles. So there's
Okay.
never been pickles in the house. So
So shout out to Jim, if I can. Jim
Yep.
Paquette is awesome. He's over at Lake Michigan Credit Union. And at Christmas this year, he had gifted us one of your wonderful charcuterie boards. And it was just so fantastic. And of course, it did have the pickles, which Don and I, kind of avoided, not paying attention that slowly but surely the pickles were starting to go missing.
Oh.
yes.
But
So he loved the pickles, and he would wrap them in a
And
piece
a
of
little
meat,
salami,
a little salami, and
Yeah.
So he devoured those pickles.
Those pickles are quite popular.
Their proper name is the cornichon. It's a
Cornichon, a little French pickle.
miniature French pickle.
and the board itself was just, we've had a lot of charcuterie before, but just outstanding because
Thank you.
you guys had just more with it, that it was really just interesting and the flavors balanced out more, and it just
Thank you.
felt like we felt so blessed to get this as a gift.
One of the things I liked is that not only did it have a good mix, but proportionally it was good, because I've gotten boards before where I'm like, okay, everyone avoid the little chunk of meat that we have here with all the cheese, but it seemed that it was proportionally done well, so that you
Very
always
balanced.
it was balanced. You always had that variety.
Thank you so much. I try really hard to make sure that you're having a good quality board, that you're always getting the best of our artisan cheeses, which you don't see everywhere. And you want the little accompaniments, but nobody wants a ton of Turkish apricots. You only
Right.
need a little bit.
Yeah.
And one of my personal pet peeves is that I only put things that you are going to eat on the board. There is nothing that is just purely there for garnish or to look
Decorative
pretty.
At
If
the
you're
end
not
of-
going to eat it, you need to not have it.
At the end of the board, all you're going to have left on it is a couple of rinds, maybe, and an empty cup of mustard. Other than that, everything on the board is edible, and it's a point of pride of ours a little bit. Like, 'cause you see these Instagram boards, and they're covered in like huge stalks of rosemary, which looks pretty, but you're not going to eat it.
Yeah.
And then what do you
Right.
do with it at the end of the night? You toss it?
Yeah.
Right.
It kind of feels wasteful to me. Like, respect to your ingredients.
Right.
So many great things that you can put in that are edible, that why put in things that are trash.
Absolutely.
In terms of spring and summer, is there anything special that you guys do for those times of year, or?
I mean, we always have a Mother's Day special that we put together. I love doing special little boards. So we had a Valentine's Day special that we did that was a dessert cheese pairing. I usually put together some sort of Mother's Day and Father's Day baskets for people who know they want to gift something really nice but don't necessarily have the brain power to think about every single little detail. I will take care of that for you and make sure that mom and dad feel well taken care of. And then with summertime and the festivals, we love bringing out our portable picnic, which is like a little a walking charcuterie plate, where we have a little paper cone that the cheeses and the salami and the pickles and the nuts go in. And it's just a fun little easy treat to enjoy your festival with.
Oh, that's great. So you can pick that up and walk around and have it.
Exactly. And it's not something that we offer all the time. It's just, again, for festivals or like special shopping event dates. So people kind of get excited for them.
Yeah. And that'll be great this year with all the festivals coming back to
Yes.
Main Street.
Happy to have
You
Main
guys
Street
survived
back.
all of that construction. Congratulations.
Thank
I know
you.
not everybody did.
We had no sidewalk for longer than literally any other business on the entire block, entire stretch of Main Street.
Wow.
Because it was done in two halves. And so
Right where you were.
one
This up
half
first.
started from one end of our property line, and they took out all of the sidewalk that direction, and then they filled that in and they finished it, and then they took out all of the sidewalk from the other end of our property line, and then they filled that in and finished it, and they worked from the outside towards us in both cases. And so we had a dirt path for 8 months.
Oh, God. It was so much dust.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Forever. But it's
But we
done
got
now.
through it.
You got through, yeah.
Yay. And so now I'm sure everybody's going to be coming down to downtown Brighton this year.
It's
There
been
was-
amazing.
There was an
turnout.
immediate jump.
Right.
I believe they finished just before Halloween, and immediately there was just mobs
Outstanding.
of people. People were so excited to get back onto Main Street
Yes.
and explore all of the stuff that's happened in the past few years and see all of the new shops that have opened, because there's been just a massive amount of turnover on Main Street in the past 5 years that
Yes.
we've been open.
Really has been. For
Yep.
sure.
So yeah, and I wanted to come back because you mentioned grilled cheese again.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that, once a month they can come get grilled cheese from you.
That is true. So we started our grilled cheese Fridays a few years ago. We do them only on the first Friday of the month. So again, it's super special, kind of rare. People get very excited for it. We do a blend of Gruyere and sharp cheddar. It gets topped with these house-made caramelized onions that I cook down with beer and a little bit of Mrs. Dogg's sweet spicy mustard out of Grand Rapids. It goes on sourdough bread from our neighbors at Great Harvest, and it comes served with chips and those little pickles that everybody loves. And we get like a waiting list. People get excited. If you want it for the lunch hours, people have to call or message to reserve them, because we do them by time blocks for however many the two of us can cook at one time. And it's so good. I get cravings for it too.
Absolutely.
A couple months ago, we sold out and we didn't even get one.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how you know it's a sad month when we don't
Right.
even get our own food.
But great that it's so popular.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys do different things. And so it's not just, this is the same old thing. This is what we serve. It's
And
like
every
you're
few months
putting
we do a
thought.
special as well. One of our most popular specials is a brie goat cheese, pickled blueberries, and a house-made blueberry jam.
Ooh.
Wow.
We got yelled at by our son for a year about bringing that back. He was like, is this the month? Are we going to do the blueberry one again? And we were like, it's not really blueberry season, man. It's December.
Oh my goodness. And has it been fun in terms of him seeing all this progress you guys have made and having your own business? Like he's just grown up.
I mean,
And
literally
it's-
grown
He
up.
has
Yes.
grown up there. Yeah, we opened and he was 15 months old. He was a lazy baby. He took his first steps in that store.
Oh.
And yeah, we always kind of joke that he had such a big language from the very beginning, because he was just around adults and around us talking and helping people all the time. And he loves to help at the store too. He wipes down tables when they're done. He likes to ring up people at the cash register. He likes to stock the crackers. So he's our third employee.
Absolutely. When he was 2 years old, he would tell people on the point to a can on the beer shelf and say, "You buy this one. It has the moon on it.
Yeah. Oh.
And they're like, how do I say no to a 2-year-old telling me which beer to buy?
Yeah.
And it did. It had the moon on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's so much fun because kids, I feel like they just absorb so many great things.
It's great having him in the shop. I mean, the customers have always enjoyed him. He's a very spirited, lively, friendly little guy. And yeah, whether he's helping people pick out a beer 6-pack or he's ringing people up, it's just kind of one of those extra little special details of a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
Right.
A literal mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it.
And that's like such the nice, unique thing about the independent stores downtown, where you have a variety of the things you have in there, and you get to choose what's in there, and you can, tailor it to the customers as tastes change.
Exactly. And that's something that we'll always say is there's nothing on our shelves if we don't love it. And so you always know that there's that quality behind it. There is a standard, but I do know our customers and I see what they like and I ask them, particularly with my Cheese of the Month Club that I started.
Cheese of the Month Club.
I do a Cheese
oh
of the
my
Month
gosh.
Club.
You need to tell us more about this.
And I always like kind of polling my customers to see what other kind of things they want. So yes, I started a Cheese of the Month Club. This is our 3rd year doing it. Every month, my club members get 2 cuts of cheese that I've brought in specially for my club members, things that are not always in our case. And then it always has some paired accompaniments that come with it. And there's always some sort of little theme. We've done French romance for Valentine's Day, kind of February themes. We've done like a bourbon pairing theme, champagne pairing theme. And it's always, I think it's very fun and it's exciting and my customers like it because again, they don't always like having to choose and figure out what they feel like eating that week. And I'm just saying, here you go. This is what you're going to have this weekend. Everything goes perfectly well together and you're going to get to find some new things.
I have a feeling you're signing up for the Cheese of the Month Club.
I think I am.
Yeah, she loves cheese. It's a big.
I do.
You'll fit in well.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Because especially, as adults, there's so few things that we can just really look forward to that sometimes it's those little blessings, that really bring the joy in life.
It's something nice to look forward to because I'll have some of the customers who say that's going to be our date night. We'll pick up our package and then that Friday night, that's our date night. Or another lady who always brings it to her friend group hangout and the friends are all like, I think it's Cheese of the Month week. Yes, she's coming.
Yeah.
And of course, it's nice to have a new exciting thing that is handcrafted, personally selected for you. That you didn't have to go through the sometimes mentally exhausting process of picking out. I mean, like the paralysis of choice, seeing a million different options and having to narrow it down to 1 or 2. Having that pre-crafted and delivered to you, and it's already a composed set of things that all go together, and here's a list of how it goes together and what order you're supposed to eat it in and what things will go with what other things.
That's fantastic.
It's really cool. And we've gotten a ton of positive feedback. She is the master of the program and has done a magnificent job, I have to say.
You.
It sounds like it. How fun. Very neat because it's not limited. It's not like, we've already filled up everybody, right?
We still have some space for our next.
Oh, good.
For our next session, we do them in 3 or 6 month subscription cycles.
Nice.
We just do them January through September. I take off the last few months of the year so I can focus on holiday time at the shop because we get pretty busy with our boards and things.
Makes sense.
I can only imagine with the holidays and with like we said, some of the businesses, they come in, they're like, we want these for our clients.
Oh, yeah.
You must be spending a lot of time creating boards that time of year.
I do, and I love it. But the other always, like Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, that we can only take so many orders for because we only have so much room to store them and so much time to physically make them. And
Well,
I feel bad when I have to say no to people.
yeah, so, we made our own charcuterie boards, the last 2 Thanksgivings, right?
Thanksgivings, yes.
And for people out there, it is amazing how much time it takes to put a board together.
And it was a lot more difficult than I thought that it would be.
Right.
'Cause I thought, oh, great. And to make it actually look nice and pretty, like you guys, you make it look too easy.
Right. And then we're going out buying cheeses and we make the board. And I'm like, oh my God, now I have a fridge full of cheese and meat that didn't make it to the board.
Yep. Yeah, I do often notice when people just come in to buy their own products and say, I'm going to do it myself. They always spend a little bit more money than if they just had me do it. But
Right.
And I'll
I'm not going to argue with that.
bet you it winds up going bad more, to be honest with you, because I know that's what we
If
found
they don't
too.
always use it.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it was hard to balance it out. And
But
it was tricky.
people do love building their own charcuterie boards.
Right.
That is obviously one of the trends of the decade.
Yeah.
It is.
And you can do that with us. Everything that we put on a charcuterie board when we build it ourselves, you can put on your own board. We sell individually, and all of our cheeses are priced by the pound, but you can do in cuts as small as 1/4 pound.
So you're not getting too much. You're not going to have that waste.
Right.
We always recommend buying fresh and buying in smaller amounts so that you don't have that chunk sitting in your
Right.
fridge after you've...
But that's what people get from you is they get the expertise and to be able to ask those questions and to get those smaller amounts and get things that go together. Because, if I'm out at a big box store or even some of the specialty ones, I'm not trying the cheeses. And I'm like, oh, that looks good. It's in plastic and I can't even smell it, but it would look good on the board. I don't know if I like it yet.
Exactly. And that's what we love about our store and being able to give people those samples so you can really try it and see and feel it and kind of know, is this going to work for me? Maybe I like it, but my family won't. And
Right. And for it to be this sophisticated experience that, kind of fresh out of New York, right? Right here in our own little community. I mean,
Well,
that's
not so fresh anymore.
okay.
yeah.
Well,
We've been here for 6 years now.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Well, but still kind of like just in terms of that expertise.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Livingston and you guys coming in, one of the questions I do like to ask is, what do you guys like best about Livingston County?
I like the small downtowns. We feel kind of lucky that we're pretty integrated into obviously the Brighton downtown since we have our storefront on Main Street. We love its walkability. We also live in downtown Howell, so I like that there's that small little walkability there. You can go and get your cup of coffee, you can get your lunch, you can do a little bit of fun shopping. I also like all the green spaces. I like all the big parks that are just right here in our county. If we want to take our son out for a quick hike, which I'm not very outdoorsy, so it must be a quick hike with me, we can just go right here to Brighton Rec or to go to Island Lake.
And how about you, David?
I love like she was saying about the small downtowns, how many locally owned businesses there are. I mean, I think there's a Dairy Queen on Grand River in Howell, in like downtown Howell's core.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything on Main Street in Brighton that is like a
Major
national
corporate.
chain.
Right.
Right.
It's just astonishing in this day and age to see that many local businesses, small, individual, like non-chain. And it's really, really cool.
Yeah, really community oriented.
Very much so.
And even of some of those chains like the, Dairy Queen or whatnot, a lot of those are small franchisees too.
Absolutely.
So I don't mind
Yes.
Those
Absolutely.
are
No,
still
of
people
course.
supporting our schools,
Yep.
donating to
Yeah,
the
they're-
fundraiser.
local.
Yep.
And of course, I mean, anybody who's been to Howell on a summer night knows how popular that Dairy
Yes,
Queen
yes.
is.
Very much so.
Line around the block.
Yep.
that, like,
Honest to goodness. And it's funny because the one in Brighton is great too, but they are totally different Dairy Queens. Like, the products, I'll order the same thing, but it is different at each one.
mhm.
But
Yeah, but I just love the uniqueness, like you said, of the downtowns, and for both Howell and for Brighton, the different festivals that they have.
Yes.
So I'm assuming the downtown Brighton, like authority or group and such, you guys are all intricately connected, kind of talking to each other in terms of what's going on and helping each other out.
Yeah, there's a nice little network of business owners to kind of keep the information flowing and always make sure people are up to date on what festival is going on, who's doing a sale, who's doing an event.
Yes.
yeah.
And I know next time we're downtown at the Imagination Station, we're going to be coming to check out the gelato.
Yeah.
Because I did
so
not
tell us
know you
more
had
about
gelato.
Your gelato.
Oh,
Yeah.
our
Absolutely.
gelato is fantastic. We get it all from Palazzolo's out in the Saugatuck area, and they make everything fresh to order, fresh ingredients. So they do custom flavors. So
Ooh.
we have special ordered a sweet corn and blueberry gelato from them. That's been very popular. We bring back every
I
year.
call it a picnic on a spoon.
We've done a strawberry balsamic. And last year, and I'm hoping to bring it back this year, they did a goat cheese with a cajeta, a goat milk caramel swirled into it. That was just absolutely amazing. And they do some really, really delicious products. And it's always nice to have the dairy-free options in there too, because there's not a lot that's dairy-free in my cheese store.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fair.
You can get a little dairy-free cup of ice cream.
That's fantastic. And that's the neat part, because especially as we do hit the summer, you know, everyone wants the ice cream, and, you know, the same old chains are still kind of the same old flavors. That to have an adult flavor is, you know, and something that's refreshingly different.
People are very frequently surprised by the flavors they see in that case. That's true. And we take pleasure in that. But of course, there are always the standby classics as well. We've got a delicious fancy vanilla and a delicious chocolatey chocolate. And
But then also the spicy Mexican chili chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So there's something for everybody.
Yes.
adventure.
Yes.
Adventure.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, fun. I mean, that's great, because you guys have so many different things. Is there anything unusual that you've ever seen, or that you've
That you carry
had,
that
or
we
they
haven't
carry,
hit on.
or- yeah.
We have a ton of really interesting products. We've got these salami chips that are made by a local lady who runs a catering company, and they are flash fried, thin sliced salami. But instead of being like greasy, because in my brain, fried salami sounds heavy and greasy, they're super light and airy and crispy, and almost, David likes to describe them as like when a pepperoni cup gets kind of burnt and crisp on the top of pizza, only completely without the grease. Totally dry.
Wow.
No orange puddle of grease.
There you go.
They
still a
are
great flavor.
super addictive.
Yes.
Folks on who are doing the keto diet are big fans of them. And she's a local businesswoman. She came in and introduced herself stone cold to us one day, and we tried her product, and it was just blown away. So that's something that people, it catches folks' eye nonstop. But that's true of a lot of things in our store. We warn people, the longer you're in here, the more things your eye is going to settle upon. So
Yes, we have
Be
all
careful.
kinds of fancy spiced nuts, chocolate covered nuts, chocolate dipped fruit. We have these little pickles in a jar, of course. Those are popular. I also have these really cool Hungarian goat horn peppers that are pickled and jarred in oil. And they are just the most addictive little snacking thing. You can blend them into a dip. You can put them on a sandwich or a wrap. You can just serve them on the side of your cheese. And it's just something strange that you're not necessarily going to find at your regular market.
And then, of course, there's also a whole bunch of little gifty items. There's like coffee mugs, there's tea towels,
Ooh,
there's
neat.
reusable bags, all sorts of really cool stuff like that. So as far as building a gift box for folks, we've done some really, really neat ones that have just a broad range of both delicious things and like reusable and keepable things. It's not like a Harry and David box where like you are stuck with this like big basket of paper at the end of it. Again, everything you get, you can use.
Right.
It's really neat.
That is so awesome. And I'm sure you guys just keep getting better and better. Like as
We
you
try to.
grow and
Right.
coming up with all new ideas and keeping it fresh. And
That's always the challenge is what am I going to do that's new? People liked this. Can I just do this again? No, I have to do something new. And so there's always, I feel like that challenge or that expectation. Sometimes I think we really rise to it.
well, when you hold yourself to a very high standard, honest to goodness, that's the way to be.
She does an amazing job. She is the brains and the energy and the driving force behind this business, and I could not be more proud of her. And speaking of which, that's something else I'd like to highlight about our Main Street community is just how many of the businesses are women-owned, and how proud I am to be like a member of that community, because it's really cool to see. I'm incredibly proud of her. I'm incredibly proud of all of the women on business or business owners on Main Street in Brighton.
It's a fantastic observation.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it
One of the
here.
things that we love about our little block, especially with us and Great Harvest,
Yeah, that
and
list just
Art
goes on and on,
Ventures and
doesn't
London
it?
Beauty and Two Dandelions. We just love our neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and that is so interesting because we've had a number of businesses on, and I've gone in a lot of them, and that it took you to mention it. And then, like, Angela was probably going through her mind going, that one's owned by a woman.
Yeah,
that one's,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, you're
like,
right.
You do that mental map and you're like, ding, 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 ding,
Right.
ding, right down the street.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's
it's
so
one of
neat.
the great little things about this main street and that we really love.
Yeah, it
Yes.
has its own culture unto its
Absolutely.
own.
Yes. We wanted to ask here at the end, one, anything that we're missing about your shop, and
So you
two,
wanted to make sure that we got out there to our listeners.
I don't think we actually said where we are on Main
and
Street.
that was going to be the last thing, like, where are you? How do people find you?
All right.
Well,
we
we're
are
right
on Main Street. We are at 412 West Main Street. We are in between Brighton Bar and Grill and Great Harvest. You can also access us from our back door entrance off of Mill Pond Lane. We're right next to Jackie's Custard and the other Great Harvest entrance. So you have great parking either way to get to us, really close to the Imagination Station, like you said, if you're playing with your kids or just taking a walk at your Mill Pond and you want to come down. Or if you're visiting Great Harvest, you know, bread and cheese are really good friends.
Cool. That is
Wonderful.
fantastic. And then even in terms of if people wanted to find out more about you online or on their socials.
We are on Instagram and Facebook at Culture Beer and Cheese. You can check out our website at www.culturebeerandcheese.com.
all spelled out in all three cases. Very easy.
Perfect. Great. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us today. We learned
Thank
a
you
lot
so
because
much
we
for
thought we
having
kind
us.
of knew a lot of your products, but I guess, you know, there's lots of surprises too. So
All
Anything's your
kinds
eye
of
will
things.
settle on.
Yeah.
just come and try new
Do
things.
we have a Beer of the Month club yet?
Not quite yet. I'm still hoping that someday we'll be able to drink them in store, but
That's true.
that might be something. But with your Cheese of the Month Club, we always do tell you what would pair best with it.
That is perfect. So there's, you know, that'll be good. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today.
We really
Thanks
appreciate
again for
it as
having
well.
us.
Yeah, and everyone out there, please come check them out when you're in downtown Brighton. Head on in. If you are looking for that grilled cheese, remember it is the first Friday of the month, and to check it out early to make sure. Check out the crepes, have some gelato over the summer, and please like and subscribe to our podcast. You can find it anywhere that you're listening to podcasts, and we're on YouTube as well. So
gift ideas too. So if you're looking
Yes.
for an interesting gift idea, what an outstanding idea. Just come on in and they'll
You can
talk to
build
all
your
about
own
it.
box. We can build it for you. Very flexible on that front as well.
Great. So
Wonderful.
many wonderful things. So great. Well, thank you so much again for listening today, and like and subscribe and check out all of our episodes.
yes, so welcome to Livingston.